Welcome back, everyone. We won 2-1 against Crystal Palace. Bruno Fernandes showing why he is Manchester United's captain, why he is the player that always steps up when it seems to be in a difficult moment for Man United. Benjamin Sesko scoring yet again, another winner from him, and the game itself turned out to be a good performance, a good result by Man United. Michael Carrick now has 6 wins in 7 games. We are now 11 games unbeaten. We got 19 points out of a possible 21. Michael Carrick is doing a good job. So far, that is. And as I said, the performance itself became a good performance. It became a good result because that first half, it had me worried. It had me concerned. I'm sure you guys watching it as well must have thought, same like me, what's going on? Because Crystal Palace did hold the ball quite well. They did create chances, and we certainly didn't look at our best. I thought that it was going to be one of those games where we're going to struggle, we're going to drop points. We weren't having any shots on target. We weren't finding the passes necessary. It was very, very sloppy, very, very slow, very lethargic, no energy. And it just seemed like maybe, a bit of what we saw last season is still here. And I was worried to the point that I didn't expect us to, you know, win in the manner that we did. Now, yes, the red card does help, and that is a red card by Lacroix. And he should have probably gotten a yellow card because he stepped on Shaw's ankle, so that in itself should have been a yellow card, but VAR didn't even check it. The referee didn't even think it was a foul. So, very, very strange, but then again, we were resilient. Even though we conceded, and we conceded a very good header, in my opinion. Lenny Yoro completely losing Lacroix in the box. And from that moment, it didn't look like we were panicking. But we didn't look very urgent as well to try and get a goal in that first half, to try and push on and be more aggressive. Instead, we sat back, we allowed Crystal Palace to have the ball, and we seemed very, very afraid to play those penetrative passes through the middle because they kept it compact, they kept it tight in midfield, and we were supposed to go wide. But Mateus Cunha coming inside didn't help because Shaw wasn't really bombing on the left hand side. That is why Patrick Dorgo is such a miss, because he keeps the width that we need. And too many players wanted the ball to their feet. Nobody was trying to stretch Crystal Palace's defense, running in behind and trying to cause problems for them in that way. That is why we were struggling. And we took too many touches on the ball. We can't be taking 4, 5 touches on the ball when we can take 1, 2, and then there's a pass through the lines, or there's a pass for someone in a better position. But Michael Carrick did say that after the game the boys spoke about it. But in the second half, we did quite well. The red card happened, it occurred. We got the penalty, Bruno scored and he stepped up. And from then onwards, we just gave Crystal Palace a very, very difficult time. We pushed on, we pushed, and eventually we got a goal from Benjamin Sesko. Bruno Fernandes crossing the ball in early, and Benjamin Sesko coming in at the near post, beating his man, heading the ball past Dean Henderson. We probably would have won by more goals if it wasn't for Dean Henderson and the saves that he made. I think the one late on from Ahmad was a class save. Not world class, but it was a very, very classy save that could have made it 3-1 for us at that moment. There were moments where you probably thought we were going to score again, and again Dean Henderson would make a save. So that in itself has always been difficult for us to break down Crystal Palace, to break down a team that sits in a low block, and that is what they did. They had a back five. Oliver Glasner definitely thought of defense first, and it was difficult for us to break them down, especially with us trying to do it in midfield. And in the second half, even when they went down to 10 men, they still made it difficult for us to break them down. And this is why Benjamin Sesko was key, especially against teams that sit back. He is a box threat. You saw the goal. That is what he can do if balls are played into the box. Now, yes, Bruno Fernandes always steps up, always has the brilliant opportunity to do so. And I do want to say this, the dogs are howling. They tend to do that most of the time. I'm sure you know that by now. If you've been on the channel for as long as it's been around, you know that the dogs always do this. But I'm sure that you can still hear me and hear what I have to say. But nevertheless, Benjamin Sesko was the winner once again for Manchester United. But I want to stick and stay key to Bruno Fernandes. He is such a key player, the most important player, not just because he's the captain, but certainly because of what he does when United need a moment, when United need to rally, to come from behind. Most of the time, if not every single time, he's the one that drags the team forward. He's the one that pushes the team on with a goal, with an assist, with a pass that maybe brings a bit of energy, and that does help the team. I said in the first half, I felt that because Bruno's passes were sloppy, because he wasn't being able to play his natural game, he wasn't getting a hold of the ball, he wasn't controlling the tempo, which is what you expect of him. Likewise with Mainu, that filtered through the team, and that made the team just a bit more less confident. That's why the things that happened in the first half happened. But we rallied, we remained strong, we remained calm, and we basically created the chances that we did by our own accord, and we went on to win the game. As I said, we could have scored more goals, but it is 6 wins out of 7 for Michael Carrick. Newcastle is coming up next, and that will be a much tougher game because we are playing away the Sports Direct Arena, I think, because it used to be called St. James's Park. But that will be a very, very difficult game, and it's another game that we have to win in order to keep the gap that we have on Chelsea and Liverpool, and of course now Aston Villa being behind us, because we are in 3rd place. We went from 7th place under Ruben Amorim to 3rd place, and now 3rd place with a gap of about, I think, 3 points off Aston Villa, Chelsea and Liverpool. That is good, but it would be nice to extend that. Of course, we still have to play Aston Villa, so there's an opportunity for us to do that. But for Michael Carrick, I don't want to say just yet give him the job. He's doing a good job so far. I will always say this until that 10th game comes. I'm going to give him 10 games and then properly assess and see where we are. But right now, we are in a very good run of form. We are scoring goals, we're winning games, we are being consistent, we're defending much, much better, and we are improving. That is a fact. You can see that by the results, and you can definitely see it by the performances as well. But for me, the question is slowly starting to get an answer. We are starting to find ways to break teams down that sit in a low block, and it is a feather in Carrick's cap with what he is doing on the training ground and with what he is implementing in terms of his tactics. We are going to see more of the team as the season filters on to the end. But we have to take it one game at a time. And Newcastle next on Wednesday night will definitely be a really, really tough game. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of the game, what your thoughts are ahead of Newcastle, what your thoughts are on Michael Carrick. Anything you want to talk about Man United, let me know in the comment section and we'll definitely talk about it. Have a wonderful day further. See you in the next one. Bye-bye, Red Devils. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.